A quick disclaimer before the episode starts is even though Aneel was born in Israel, he isn't biased either way in the war between the Israel and Palestine plantations. If you'd like to hear what he has to say about it, you can find an episode on his channel where he discusses it. I'll leave a link in the description. We can just start with a brief introduction of who you are.
Yeah, sure. So are you recording now?
Yes, it's been recording from the beginning.
Okay. So hello everyone. My name is Aneel. I'm from Israel. I'm 24. Uh, I'm someone who's been actively acting on the truth since my first days. Um, I've been talking about it um, uh, for a couple of years now since I decided to, at least before I go leave this place, I need to talk about it, even if we're not gonna win. But at least people must understand what it takes, because people never had this true full picture about what it takes. People always had a you know small points here and there. They never had the aggregate mind to understand that if you want to achieve complete freedom, if you want to achieve complete natural law, to have full natural law on earth, you need to be so extreme in it. You need to be so pure in your heart, and only then it will be achieved. And unfortunately, I don't see that. I don't see that. Most people who are in the so-called truth movement, natural love movement, especially because you have differences between truth movement, you know, a lot of people claim to be in the truth movement, awakening movement. This is bullshit. These people are new ages, or the best place that they know is like David Icke or whatever. These people never talk about the natural law or whatever. What was the name of the other guy? Um, Jones, Davy Jones, Alex Jones, Davy Jones. That's Pirates of the Caribbean character. But yeah, Alex Jones. These people never talk about what's the solution. They just talk about the prison, and they're not 100% accurate even when they talk about the prison. So that's why people like me uh, need to talk, especially people coming from my circumstances. I was born in a uh, uh, occult society, bloodline. So I came from within to talk about these things. I didn't, know about these things from some book. I was traveling and I saw a book about the occult, about the, secret organizations of this world. No, I came from the within. I know exactly what's going on, when things are going to happen, why, and what happened in history. And throughout history, we never had a huge numbers of true natural law followers, because to be a truly natural law follower you need to be completely just. You need to embody natural law. And what is natural law? When we talk about natural law for human behavior is something like impersonal cosmic power, cosmic law, that's ultimately is all about justice, all about consequences. So if you truly want as a being to arrive at that state and to bring that state into whatever place you're living in, this planet or another or other planets, you yourself, you need to start acting on it 100%, which means you cannot take half measures. You cannot be half-asser. And I'm not going to say, forgive me about the language, this is the way I talk, this is the way I like to present things, because quite frankly, it's 2026 and people still want to play children. It's not like because the information isn't there. No, they just don't want to get it. And when you are trying to help so much and people aren't willing to listen, naturally your tone will change, your behavior will change, and the way you will present things will be harsh, because they deserve someone shouting at them. And so yeah, bear with that if you truly want to listen. So I always tell people, hey, do the trivium, listen, get the knowledge first, process it, and then see what you want to take or leave. So don't try to just because I said a word that you don't like, I'm speaking a tone that you don't like. You feel like some emotions in your heart. Fight that. Fight that. Tell yourself, I'm going to stay and listen if you want to know. And why would you want to know? Because you come into life as a creature, especially a privileged creature who is inhabiting a human body, which is literally one of the best machines in creation to embody natural law. You were given an opportunity that a lot of creatures are still waiting to get, and you were given the opportunity, and you're pissing on it. So if you want truly to continue in that journey, to continue to keep your privilege, because there are deadlines in nature. Nature isn't just, hey, I fucked up, sorry. No, you fuck up, you pay for that, which means things will be taken from you. You will be held accountable for all the things you've done and the things you didn't do, which actually you also done, because since everything moves in nature, there is no static energy. It means if you say yes, you already took an action, and if you say no, you already took an action, and even if you stay silent, you already took an action. It's called no, but didn't show it. So you want, if you truly love yourself, and I know most people who claim to know natural law, who claim to have done the shadow work, they don't love themselves. If you truly love yourself, you will be just like natural law. Now, a lot of people talk about, oh, it's not about being perfect. It is. When it comes to natural law, it is about being perfect. That's the difference between a fucking Nazi and a fucking someone who never raped in his life. If you live 100 years on Earth and you never raped, can't we say that you were perfect in not initiating violence? You never raped, you never murdered, you never stole anything. You were perfect. And when it comes to natural law, and that's the important thing. We're not talking about being perfect in small things in your life, like did you wake every day at 6 a.m. It doesn't matter. That's within yourself. That's for you. But when it comes to natural law, you should be perfect. Otherwise, you are literally saying, if you say, well, it's not about perfection, you are, in other words, literally saying, I have no problem with small evil. And as the saying goes, I don't know the name of the guy, I think he was from the Christian world, who said, if you let small vice get into you and let it accumulate, after a certain amount of time, it's going to be a sin. I'll give an example. We speak about vices and sins. Sins are only committed when you initiate violence. That's a sin. It's not what they teach you in these Abrahamic shit brainwashing machines called Abrahamic religions. No, these are all vices, other than don't murder. But they don't say don't murder. Only Judaism says this. Don't murder. Others say don't kill. There's a huge difference between don't kill and don't murder. Murder is when you initiate the violence, and killing is when you are defending yourself. If there is a lion who wants to eat you, you're not murdering him, you're killing him because, hey, I'm not your fucking meal. Tough shit, deal with that. So, as I said, if you let one vice come into you and you're not in control, for example, if you wanted to have cocaine, it's your body, it's your right, it's your natural law right, and you are not willing to change that. After a certain amount of time, if you let this vice grow and grow, you will lose control. And what happens when you are a cocaine addict? What happens? You lose control. You will start to create violence to others, towards others. You will start, hey, I need money. I'm so addicted. I need money. And you don't have the money. And no one is willing to let you work because you cannot perform any fucking job because you have zombie or something. So you will go into stealing. Do you have a right to steal? No. You created a harm. Why did you create the harm? It's because you lived in vice. You invited the vices into your life. That's why I say I have no problem with people, want to try new things, even if they are harmful. For example, I want to try what's the feeling of cocaine, but you must know something. If you're not under, if you're not, if these things aren't under control, if you're not controlling them, you're going to fall off the plane of natural law, and you're going to start creating harm. The same way we say, what if you are driving and drinking? It's your right, but if you murder someone by creating an accident and you survive, you need to go. You need to be killed because you have no right. You already knew what may happen and you decided to act on it irresponsibly, and this thing manifested, and someone must pay for that. Can you bring the other person who died in the crash? Can you bring him to life? No. Can you, perhaps he didn't die, but he lost an arm or something? Can you bring that back? No. You need to pay for that. Simple as that. And even if, let's say, you're living in a small village and some of them raped at someone, and the victim said, I forgive him, she or he can do that. They can forgive the one who committed the harm. But if other people knew about that, they have the right to not forgive him. Society itself, and society can be any two people or more. You are individual. Anyone else living beside you, you are a society. You are a group. Anyone from the group can decide, I'm not going to let this go, and they have a right to do that. And that's why I talk about these things. People think they want nature. People think they want the truth, but they never heard about it. They think they know, but they never heard about what is actual truth. I'll give an example. They think, let's eat organic, let's eat natural way. And you say, okay, let's see. What do you mean by that? Raping, murdering animals. What's natural about that, and where's the organic thing about that? First of all, your organism doesn't digest such things. So in the organic thing, you're out. You're not meant to eat these animals. You are a frugivore creature, speaking about humans. And when it comes to initiating harm, you already raped and you already murdered, and you already stealing the milk or whatever, eggs or whatever, further, all kinds of things from these animals. Who gives you the fucking right? And here we go into another point, that it's about survival. Is survival the most important thing? No, survival isn't the most important thing. Natural law is the most important thing. And I'm telling this to all the natural law community. If you truly want to win, you need to go all in, which means you won't trade one simple harm to win. Which means if they tell you, hey, just let us rape for 5 years and I promise you we will change, and it takes time to become vegan. Bullshit. You either go vegan now, you either start acting on natural law now, or there isn't. There isn't natural law. And that's what I say. The true natural law followers won't take half measures. If the ship goes down and the ship isn't willing to change, they go down with the fucking ship. That's what it means to be fucking pure soul who's willing to go all in. But if we take half measures into natural law, and if we want to say, well, I'm not gonna be a militant vegan, but let's start at least with people understanding anarchy for humans, and from there we can build. You are literally saying, I am God, and I can decide who's going to suffer from now till 5 years until others change. Who gives you that right? Who gives you that right to say animals should suffer for 5 years until humans change? No one gives you that fucking right. And that's why there is no such thing as half measure in natural law. It's the law or without the law. It's black or white. There is no gray, a bit red. No. It's either fully in natural law or you're not. Even if you are 99% in natural law, you are far better than others. Trust me, and I can recognize that. But can we call you a natural law follower? No, we can't. No, we can't. And that's the point. That's what they must understand. That's what my message has been since day one. You need to be pure. Perfection is possible. in certain things. I'm not talking about perfection in technology, because technology is something subjective. You can be so advanced to the Amazonians in the Amazon River, but you are so fucking little child compared to some alien species. So we're not talking about that. We're talking about perfection in objectivity, in natural law, something that cannot be changed, but you can reach it. You can reach it. It's easy. Don't harm others. Okay, calculate every movement, if that movement is going to harm others or not, and you will be fucking complete. You will be fucking pure. And if others aren't willing to take it to that level because they are so brainwashed, they have so much self-loathing, they hate themselves, and they're not willing to change, fair enough. We don't have it. But I'm not gonna sell my principles, other ways to say it, sell my souls, to achieve 50% of something. Because what if you bring a someone who doesn't act on natural law, a Satanist, and give him niceties in life? You may lose him. And how do I know? All of history. Look at history. People think People thought that when there was a revival of the occult in the beginning of the 20th century, around 120 years ago, 150 years, a bit before the 20th century, the end of the 19th, people thought that we are coming into this new world in the West where people will be far happier because the niceties of life would be easier to get and all of that. People thought that would help. That won't. That didn't. In fact, in 1917 or 1918, something like that, one of the I don't remember his name, but he was one of the globalists working for the globalists, of course. He said, "This time with consumerism, we will own them forever." Why did he say that? You think he didn't know about the revival of the occult? You think he didn't know about all of these things that's going to change the life of the middle class to make them so happy? He knew. But he also knows the first rule of initiation: don't lie to yourself. People are liars. You can act on natural law in poverty, or if you have fucking all the riches in this realm, you can. It's all depends on you. And that's what people don't want to see. People think there is something like, yeah, degrees. No, you change in degrees if something that doesn't harm anyone else other than yourself, which is your right to harm yourself. But you don't do that. You don't change in degrees when it comes to others. Let's say I caught a rapist, and he said, "You know what? I used to rape every month. Now I'm gonna rape every 15 years." For the normies, that's a win. Yeah, that's an improvement. No, it's not. No, it's not. He's still a rapist. Can we say someone who was 100% Nazi now he's 1% Nazi? Can we say he's natural law follower? No, he is 99% less Nazi, so he's not so aggressive and bad as the SS, but still, he's still a Nazi. So, because of all of these things, because of this small intro, because of these small examples, that's what led me into this life. I knew since day one. I felt it in my bones. Like when I say since my childhood, I'm talking about 5, 6 years old. I'm talking about such an age where I knew these things, and it must be done like this, and I knew there isn't any other way. And I saw this movement come, and appear and not achieving anything because they're not pure, and that continued to confirm to me what I already knew. And at a young age, 15, 16, I wanted to end my life because I knew there isn't a solution. Not because there isn't a solution. There is a solution. But I knew people aren't strong enough like me to do it. And few others. When I say few others, I'm talking about few others in this realm. We have more than 8 billions fucking Nazi on this earth. And a few of them are willing to go all in for natural law. And when I say all in, it's all in on yourself, on your most beloved ones, all the people. It's not just, hey, yeah, I'm gonna excuse my nephew. No, if your nephew will, if your nephew, I have a nephew and I have a niece, and they're young. But if they participate, let's say they grow up a bit when they can decide for themselves, and they participate in fucking harm, I'm taking them out. That's the fucking spirit. That's the way. If you're not willing to do it, as Jesus, your guy, said, a day will come where families will be separated from within, a father against his son, a mother against her daughter. For those who love me, you need to sacrifice all of them if you want love. And Christ here, we're talking about Christ consciousness, natural law. Because the Bible, if you compare it to other religions, the Bible is the New Testament is the lightest, has the most truth in it when it comes to how to transform your spiritual life. The Old Testament is the best for history, but the New Testament is the best for spiritual analogy and all of that. And he said that if you want me, you need to sacrifice even your fucking family. I mean, if your father isn't willing to have me, guess what? You're going against your father. And this is natural law. I went against my family. I went, and I'm paying for that in everything, literally everything.
Aneel,
And
before
yeah,
you continue, I just want to give the viewers an idea what natural law is about, just the basics, and then you can talk about the sacrifices that you made. So, natural law, it's a set of non-man-made, binding and immutable conditions that govern the consequences of beings with the capacity to determine right from wrong. So, in simple terms, if you have the ability to understand right from wrong, you're going to get consequences based on that because you have the ability. You're not like just some rudimentary animal. So it's also known as karma, consequentialism, cause and effect, and God's law. So also, and we're just talking about the basics here, a right. A right is any action that doesn't initiate harm to another sentient being. And then the wrongs. There are 7 wrongs. They're all forms of theft. It's murder, assault, rape, trespass, coercion, deception, and stealing. And yeah, you can continue.
you can boil all of them to one thing. It's theft. Don't steal.
Yeah.
Raping is theft. Taking property that's not yours is theft. All of these things are theft. Taking assault, murder is theft. Don't do it. And eventually, like anyone who practices natural law will be pure enough to see, like people will say, but if we live in this, anarchy, natural law / natural law world, I mean, what if one will own a continent? You can't, because your heart won't let you do it, because you're not alone. You're not alone. So you can do it. You know that, hey, I need everything I need. So why the fuck would I need to take another, even if I have the money, even if I can persuade others, perhaps we're gonna be living without money. Let's say you have other resources that you can persuade others to sell you these things. You don't need them. You're not gonna pursue that. And if you're afraid of people being like this, you are afraid of yourself because you're not pure enough to not do that. I don't know if you recognize that, Bo, but yeah, when people talk about these things, you if you understand psychology, you immediately understand that what they are talking about isn't other people. They're talking about themselves. Anyone who refuses
Protection.
anarchy is exactly
Yeah.
anyone who refuses anarchy and natural law. They are telling you, "I'm not ready. I might be one of those who commits the wrong." You see, but they're not willing to say it like this because they don't have the balls. You see, but they are talking about themselves. And do you know what I said? Tough shit. It's your fucking problem. Grow up. Grow up. It's not my problem. I'm trying to help you. Instead of going fucking playing video games after your slave job, every day and caring about hookups, caring about hookups and food, perhaps you should sit in. I don't say open a fucking book. Sit first in front of fucking mirror and ask yourself why everything is like this and all of that, and start looking for the truth, an answer. How do you do it? Through the trivium. And I want to refer to people, go look up Mark Bassio's work. The guy, I'm talking like this, but I don't have any pictures, any images on the screen, but the guy did that. You can see things, he talks about a lot of things I'm not going to be able to cover here, but you can. The guy has been doing that since 2007. And the guy was he came from within also. He was in a secret society. So you can do that. It's not so hard to do it, especially nowadays. Like if listen, I won't talk like this to someone who was born in Somalia and barely can find water after 15 years. I'm not gonna be talking like this because I understand. I'm not a child. I understand circumstances. But for those who are in the West, all of the West, even in the Eastern countries of the West, you lie is if you say you can get natural law. You all have internet. In the West, literally everyone has internet, unless you are like homeless. Yeah. So there is no excuse. Even in the Asian world, Japan, China, all of these. Yeah, now you can say, well, they have all the surveillance systems. Yeah, sure, especially China. Yeah, but that wasn't all there. All the time there. This China. I think China started with the social credit system in 2011. I think, if I'm not mistaken. So before 2011, they were able to read any book they want, everything. So the only people that I would literally say that they can't have access to the internet are people who are living in wars, people are living in devastated lands like Africa, people who are living in Siberia, like the Eskimo people who are living in Amazon River. Yeah. Other than that, everyone has it. Everyone can reach internet. But no, we are going to watch celebrities. We are going to watch all kinds of fucking stupid shit. And guess what? You'll pay for that. If you think natural law doesn't have deadlines in it, if you think nature doesn't have deadlines, you're mistaken. Severely mistaken.
And when you
And
say
you're
we're
going
going
to
to
pay
pay
for
for it, you mean on a collective level as well? Because if all of us don't do the inner work on ourselves and become better, then the external world is going to reflect that, right?
100%. You're gonna pay about it. You're gonna pay for that in the astral when you leave the body, which means you're not gonna be able to reincarnate at will. Someone like me, I can do it. You can't. Why? Because I know I'm not a child. The creation can trust me. The creation says, well, this is not a child. I can send him to whatever place he wants. And I know he's not gonna break natural law. Unless he wants to go bad. Then the next reincarnation, I'm gonna deny him this privilege. But until he, if he continues in that path of living naturally, he's not gonna break it, and it's okay. And that's you will pay for that in the astral, and you will pay that in the physical. You see, people think like people when people like us die, and they laugh at us like, ah, you didn't achieve it. You're laughing at us, really? First of all, we were doing what we're doing because of natural law, for natural law. We're not doing it for the creatures. Although I'd like to see the creatures benefiting from that, but I cannot do it for them. So I'm doing what I'm doing is for natural law. People say, well, no one is listening to you. I don't give a shit. I'm doing it for the natural law because when I leave this place, I want to tell natural law, I did it. I tried. Now smack them with whatever comment you have.
When you say the creatures, do you mean the animals and the humans, or all of them?
Yeah, I'm doing for all of them because, as you said, if in the aggregate, if people don't understand natural law, they're gonna harm everything they fucking touch. Who is harming the animals? Vegans? No, fucking Satanists who don't understand natural law.
Oh yeah, just one more thing. When you talk about Satanists, we're talking about egotism, yeah, as the foundation of
Yeah,
Satanism.
100%.
And
100%.
you were talking earlier about the continent, someone who wants to own a whole continent. That's like Satanism in quite a harsh degree, because you have to be extremely selfish to think like that. And then if Satanism is selfishness and egotism, then its natural opposite will be altruism, yeah?
Yeah, Satan, literally, Satan, the word Satan in English, Satan, it comes from Hebrew shaitan and from Persian before it. It literally means someone who is disconnected from nature. And why would you disconnect yourself from nature? Is because you are putting your own ego above nature. That's where the disconnection happens. Your ego should always be working with nature, which means ego under will, which means you are controlling the ego. You have internal monarchy. You are in control. You won't say, well, I was walking and suddenly some hormone or something happened in my body that led me to do something. No, you are in control, and we can do these things. There is no such thing as something like breaking like this. Your body breaks like this. I was walking and I got a heart attack. It doesn't exist in nature. Nature works according to laws. If you had this, it's because you did something you don't see, but still, it harms you. So Satanism is egotism, is something that's saying I don't want to accept these laws. Well, let me just clarify something. Most of the Satanists, even the dogs of the elites, these people don't understand natural law. Okay,
When you say the
they
dogs
are
of the
mostly
elites, who are you talking about?
anyone who's not from the bloodline.
Okay.
It could be Illuminati members. It could be Freemasons. A lot of them, not every one of them, but a lot of them don't understand natural law. Now, the true dark Luciferians, the true people in control, those who are the monarchy, the bloodlines, you cannot join. If you're not born one of them, it's over. You cannot join. No one can join my secret society, by the way. No one. And if I marry outside of this secret society, I'm out. I'm completely out. They won't let me be around them. Think about that. Death threats will appear. They will hunt you down. You need to understand what's the meaning of a bloodline thing. So you have like street Freemasons, street Illuminati members, and you have bloodline Freemasons. Those who create. Every time you hear about secret society, that's very powerful. It wasn't created by some schmuck from the street. Like people think like Adam Weishaupt created the Illuminati in 1776. That's utter bullshit. That's the German Lodge. The German Lodge was revealed to the public, and Adam Weishaupt was himself taking orders from the bloodlines. Himself. Just like the Nazis. People think, oh, who financed the Nazis? It's the bankers. Who gave the bankers the okay, the green light to do it? The bloodlines. The bloodlines have constructed all of this system to not appear that they are in control, but they are in control. I like the example that Mark Passio gives. Think about a bus, right? And this bus is driving in very high speed. You would think that the driver sits in the front seat, right? But he's not. The true controllers of that bus are sitting in the last seat. Why? Because for whatever accident that happens, they are gonna be the least harmed. All the kinetic power after that bus hits something is going to transfer to all the dogs, all the slaves that they own, and they won't be harmed. But at the same time, they are the driver. They are the driver of the bus. Think about them like this. And who are they? The people think like, are they dragons? Are they what? No, they are just people who have ancient knowledge about the psychology. They're not people, people when people talk about magical. No. It's just people who understand how the human brain works. Better than me, better than you, better than a billion together. One of them knows more about the brain than all the fucking planet. Literally. If you bring all the slaves, all the so-called, medical world, put them together in front of him, he knows better than them. And that's why they don't teach you these things. That's why if you go for psychology nowadays, it's just telling you, be happy with what you have. They're not really treating you. They never treated anyone. And they were talking from the 60s, 50s, I have videos about that, but I can't recall the names now, of people who were the founding fathers of so-called psychology of modern day, and at their time they were telling it's fallen, it's stupid. And do you know what they use psychology for nowadays? And not nowadays, like since day one. They give it to the public and they say, if you're not like us, we're gonna categorize you with schizophrenia. I'll give an example. A lot of people in the West know about how bad the Soviet Union was, but a lot of people in the Soviet Union tried to do something, which is telling the people above them, hey, perhaps we can change this and that. Do you know these people were sent to gulags and they were told that they have schizophrenia because they believe they can be happier. They believe that the Soviet Union can be better. What? You don't trust the gods, the government? You have a problem. Tell me that's not just kingship of the ancient world. Can you find another word? You can't. If you don't like how the king rules, you have a problem with the king. You should be put to death. You should be humiliated. Literally. So this is Satanism. And as I said, a lot of them, the majority of them don't know natural law. The true dark elites, dark Luciferians, Lucifer means the light. And they do have the light. But that's why in the pyramid, the dollar, for example, the so-called Illuminati pyramid. These people are trying to block the light because they know what's the light, they know what's the solution, and they don't want you to know the solution. And that's why they give you all the distractions. Everything in your life, everything that's not built upon natural law is a distraction. No one says, I want to harm myself and he's good up here. No one. Everyone who shoots himself in the fucking foot is mentally ill in one way or shape. There is no other way to say it. You have mental illness. And deeper than that, you have emotional pain. The will to not change for the better literally means you are telling others, I don't deserve it. Why? Why do you think you don't deserve better? Anyone who latches on bad things, from girls going with bad guys and saying and crying afterwards why he cheats on me, why he treats me like that, from people latching on bad kings, on any king, and saying why are we treated like that, from people latching on all these diets and then crying why are we having this problem. All of these people literally going in circles and saying we don't deserve good, we don't deserve better. That's why we're dealing to ourselves. That's why we're doing what we're doing to ourselves. So before we go to the next thing, if you have the next question, I want to explain something. To arrive at nature, you need to have abstinence in your life. We call it the apophatic way. Apophatic or apophatic way, which means if you want to understand the natural state of something, you need to take all the things that you are putting on it, you are assigning to it, which means you look at something and you ask, can I take everything that's not natural out, and whatever remains, that must be nature. And that's exactly how you arrive at the truth. If you find yourself, and I recommend this, Mark Pastor did a presentation called Two Masks, Same Face. I don't know if you are familiar with it, Paul.
I did watch an hour of the presentation, Two Masks, Same Face, the dark occult origins of Nazism and communism. Yeah, I didn't. It wasn't really my thing so much.
Yeah, that's it. Everyone must watch it because he goes into the occult. It's not just about the so-called politics. But yeah, in it, Mark shows how to arrive at the truth of those two camps through taking out everything that's not natural. And at the end, he shows you, he makes a table and he puts communism and Nazism, and he shows you they are literally the same, just different names, different colors, but they're literally the same. Just like when you were vegans, you know about the yellow watermelon and the red watermelon. They are literally the same. You know, it could be like some differences with sweetness here and there, but it's watermelon. Okay, the same thing when it comes to these camps. I just gave an example about how to arrive at the truth from for these two things, two camps. Because also Mark has this wonderful, amazing lecture. It's about 8 hours. Go watch it. Two masks for the same face.
Same face.
Go watch it, guys. Yeah, it's 8 hours, but it's wonderful. It's amazing. And he says there are a lot of things can be said more than that. But how long are you going to go? Like 20 hours? You can't. So I just want you to watch it because you will see how he starts how he starts to distill every form, Nazism and communism, how he starts to do it, and you will see the practice. You will arrive at, wow, if I take this example and put it in everything. For example, are we omnivores or carnivores? You start bullying these things and you put into nature. You take yourself, you put your fucking digestive system on a sheet. You look at your digestive system, you take the digestive system of the carnivore and you take the digestive system of the omnivore, and you start looking at things. You start looking at all of these things. This is called distillation. You will arrive at that, hey, we're not both. We are frugivores. Can we find frugivores? Are there frugivores in nature? Yeah, they are. Let's look at their digestive system. Well, they are literally like us. It must be. And then if you are too dumb fuck, too stupid, too of a schmuck, hey, I always tell people, if you want to have it the hard way, you can. Go eat something that goes against your nature. Only it, don't mix it, just eat it alone. For example, people say we need salt, right? I tell them, okay, fine, you need salt. You think you need salt. Not sodium from plants. No, salt, a stone. I said, okay, go eat nothing but salt. They will come back crying.
They won't come.
They will know.
They won't come back
if they do it. If they do it, somewhat long enough, they won't come back. But immediately after they take the first spoon, hey, we're liars, yeah. But they don't want to say it. You can't. But if you're asking, like, do I need water? Drink water and see how you feel. Drink nothing but water. You'll feel better. You feel better. Because of the fasting, conditioning and all of that. You'll even feel better. That's how you know, well, I need water. Okay, but I don't need that shit called salt or whatever. And the same thing with everything in life. I'm trying to give you examples from everyday life. I'm not trying to tell you, go read fucking book or that. I know most people won't do it. Most people don't know why are we having bad time. Most people don't know that we're having bad time because they are insulated in their fucking, bubble in the West.
Oh, bro, it's become so obvious these days. All you have to do is look up in the sky. And you'll see we're having a bad time.
Yeah, very bad time. All these fucking things they are putting on us, and people are still telling me, like, this was about a couple of years ago, after 2022, I'm sure. I was telling people, the period of Corona, I was a laughing stock. After the period of the scam.
But viruses are real, man.
Huh?
Viruses are real.
Viruses are real when they inject you with shit. That's the real thing. But to show us these Chinese dropping off like zombies, that's not real. Everyone who got sick, who took the
jabby
scam
jab. Let's call injection. It the jabby jab.
The jabby jab, so no one can take this out. Yeah. And so after that, all the people who confronted me, said, you're right. And that's it. They don't want to discuss it because they don't have balls to say we were wrong, we were laughed at, you were godlike, all of it. But it's not a problem. So I was with one of my family members, and we were looking at the sky. And I was telling him, he refused. He traveled so much, but he refused to acknowledge that what these planes are leaving behind them, sometimes it's not contrails, it's chemtrails. And then you have this plane suddenly spraying, then stopping, then spraying. I said, what? They turned the engine off? What happened? He looked at the thing in the sky, the line, literally looked at me. He said, I don't want to talk about it. That's how deep the ego can control you. You are proven wrong in the natural world outside after we were talking about something and you refuse to acknowledge it. Do you know what's the solution with these people?
No, please tell us.
The solution with these people is simple. They know they're wrong. They know they don't know. They're not willing to learn, and they are causing harm in their ignorance. And as the ancient people, especially in Kemet, used to say, evil is not evil. Ignorance is evil. Do you know what's the solution with these people?
Yeah, I know what you're going to
Whether
say.
he's a
Put a
brother
bullet
or
in
not.
them.
No, bullet is too fast. You put a fucking knife through his eye and you make him see, look. That's the only solution. When you have a Satanist, when you have fucking someone who is insisting on initiating harm and is not willing to learn, there is no other way other than either you live or I live. The whole idea that we can coexist together, this is bullshit. There is no coexistence between fucking different stages. It's either this stage or that stage. You are either young or you're adult. There is no half and half. You can't arrive at 50%. It's either always 51 or 49. If you want to test it, you go put some water, okay, on your hand from the sink or whatever. You try to control the water's temperature. You won't be able to make it 50-50. You won't. It's either always 51 or 49. 51 hotter or 49 cold or whatever. You can't. This is nature. So if you want to have good people, you need to take the others out. Those who are not willing to be good. You don't like it? Tough shit. This is it.
But Aneel, I just want to challenge that one a little bit. Because I think that it doesn't have to be that extreme that you have to take everyone out. Some people will change with just a little bit of a harder lesson. Like say for example, these people who exploit animals that we meet on the street often with the vegan activism. I think if you just put them in a cage in the position of the animal just for like 5 minutes, they'll wake the fuck up.
Oh, I hear this, and I have no problem with giving people opportunity, but I have a problem with calling myself God. I don't have a right to put someone in cage. You want to put someone in cage. Well, you need to provide food. From where? You gonna tax people? That's why there is no cages in nature. That's why I have a problem when we try to interfere with the natural way with dealing with the bad. When nature finds something bad in it, it destroys it. When we try to say, well, we're gonna be more merciful than nature, this is bullshit. This is a lie. You cannot be more merciful than nature. Nature itself gave you the fucking soul to exist. So who's doing someone's favor here? Nature is doing us a favor. First of all, that's why we say the universe is built on love. If you truly meditate on that. So I'm not willing to tax anyone. I'm not willing to be God and say, well, I caught these 10 jihadists. They are willing to change, but we need to provide them with some isolation for 10 weeks. Who's going to give them food? Who's going to give them water? Who's willing to guard them?
And that's not actually what I was trying to say. I just meant that you put them in the position of their victims just for 5 minutes so that they can, for the first time in their lives, understand what it is that these poor animals go through. Then maybe they'll wake the fuck up.
I'm sure pain will change people.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you are familiar with the idea with trauma. Sometimes trauma doesn't change because people are weak.
Yeah.
So you can cause trauma to two people. One of them will change because he's strong, and the other one will go deeper in trauma. This is the problem with trauma.
Okay.
Listen. Yeah, it's proven. It's not like they did try that on twins a lot of times. They found it. Some people are not, and I don't like it to be like this, but this is nature. Some people will go deeper in trauma, and I've met people like that in my life. Trust me, it's so much resources, unbelievable work to get them out of that. And some people won't change. We need to be we need to be okay, you know, comfortable with the idea that some people won't change. I'm sure, I'm not sure about that, but I'm sure you can find it on the internet. Go look up jihadists. These people, they are just like the SS, but they speak Arabic. Look them up. Look them up. You will see, you will see people like saying, "Oh yeah, I raped 900 girls, and I'll do it again." Do you think there's a when he was in prison for years, after all of that isolation, do you think these people will change? You may say, well, yeah, if we put psychedelics and all of that, yeah, all the resources for what? For what? If he's not willing to change, don't remember the first step in healing is to ask them, do you want to change or not? Do you want to heal yourself or not? Perhaps I have all the fucking techniques and I have them, but if I'm not willing to sacrifice, well, I can't do it for you. So these people, you need to be comfortable with this. You need to let people go. Most people won't learn in this lifetime. I'm sorry, but I'm telling you, the Gnostics, since we are talking to the Christian world, the Western world, the Gnostics, the first sect in Christianity, they divided people into three groups. The first group is the complete zombies. They are the majority. They won't change, no matter what. They forget it. They won't change. They are too calcified with an ego. The second group is those who they have some fire in them, but it's not strong enough. So we, the third group, we need to help them. But the problem is they need constant monitoring because they can fall off because they're not strong. They are literally like someone who says, I love good, but I'm too attached to the bad. Literally. And the third group is those who are completely awakened. They came here just to help. They already know it. They've been doing it for perhaps millions of years on other planets. They just came here to enlighten you. And that's why they are the strongest. That's why they are the best. And that's why they've been murdered the most. You won't find a lot of people like me in history, but you find a lot of fucking normies. Why? Because we are targeted. And the Gnostics were right. The third group, these people like me, these people who truly gave everything and set an example. Just look, if we have it and we are giving everything up, you can change. And people are not willing to change.
Yeah, before I forget, I just want to talk about the sacrifices that you've made already in your life. Because you were born and raised in Israel. You're not a part of the plantation, but you were in a secret society there. And you actually gave up that life completely. You had the opportunity to have sex with whoever you wanted, or have like lots of riches, be comfortable, have the best life. But you said, no, fuck that. I'm gonna give all that up, and I'm gonna go to Spain and have nothing.
Yeah. This the dream, people, I want to have money, I want to live in nature, right? I want to have this my cabin in nature, right? You know it, right?
Yeah.
I was born there. I was born in this. Money, freedom. I'm not living in some fucking suburb in the city. Freedom, fresh air, all of these things, green fields, wherever you look, having animals. I was born there. Add on that, I was born in the occult knowledge, not just physical, good lifestyle, all of that. I grew up one of the most famous people in my school. Everyone wanted to be with me, so I didn't suffer in all of my childhood until I became a teen. I never suffered isolation. I never felt that no one wanted to be with me. Wherever I look, people want to be with me. Younger people at my age, older people. In fact, most of the times when I hang up with people like around my age, and we meet with people older than me, they always choose me. And the people around my age, they get angry. And why are you always chosen? Why, when we are wherever we are playing sports, you are playing with people who are 10 years older than us? Nah. I remember like being in the sixth grade, 12 years old, playing with people 20 years old, 21 years old football. I'm like, well, 150, 155 centimeters playing with people like adults. And people around my age like angry and shouting, why? And they tell them, he's better than you. He's just better than you. So I grew up in this lifestyle, money, I'm famous, I had it all. But I wasn't satisfied because I knew the truth. And I rejected everything. And let me tell you something. I was thrown out of my house. Literally, I was told by my family, if you try to waken them, don't come back. That's just try to awaken them. If you marry with one of them, like, forget it. If you pollute the bloodline, forget it. Don't come near the fucking village or the fucking place we live in. Bro, I was and those are my father and my mother. And my mother, they're not like my uncle. Those are my family, my immediate family telling me this. And I said, fuck it. Do you think I give a shit? If you were truly my family, you would be just like me. Do you know who are, people think, oh, if they're not my family, so who is my family? People like me is your family. People like you, Paul. People like Mark. Those are your family. Those are your true brothers and sisters. Not some biological fucking chump, who just got, a blood relation with you. And I sacrificed all of that because I knew I was born in 2001. I'm 24. And try to find me someone like me at this age. I bet you dollars to donuts. Do it. You can't. You can't. I can't find them. I don't like humans, but if I want to be social, I can be super social. So I don't have the traumas that some people like be like, right, because they didn't have it in their childhood. It's hard for them when they grow up. I wasn't like this, but it shows this hard path. 100% knowing what's going to happen, knowing what's going to happen. That's why I wanted to end my life at 16, because I knew every outcome of my life, I knew it. I can see things, I know it. And I've been telling people things around, wars and these things going to happen, this outbreak and these things happen. They tell me how. I say, I know it. I just know things. Sure, I have a lot of knowledge, but I was born with these things. I remember like when I was like very young, 6 years old, we're sitting with my uncle. My uncle is the head of the in my place. He's the head of the spiritual science, all of that, right? The highest pope, you can say, for Christians. And he would be, these people like they know, right? He would be talking and saying these. Now I'll be like sitting and looking at him, say, "No, you're wrong," and he'd be like, "What do you say? What do you mean?" I tell him, "No, we shouldn't be like this," and say, you are already out. You are breaking the secrets of this society and all of that. I'm like, I don't give a shit. You're wrong. So since I was a child, I had these, people monitoring me from my place that this is different. This guy is different. And in fact, my siblings, my cousins, they were brainwashed completely, and they're having fun, and they're having fucking supercars, and I'm struggling. I didn't need to do any of that, but I did it because it's the right thing to do.
I just like to clarify. I think you told me before, but you said that your family wasn't the most evil of families out there. Looked like they didn't rape you as a kid or something crazy like that.
No, yeah, I didn't have it. I wasn't traumatized physically. I was hit on all of these things, but I wasn't traumatized. The things you read about, like electricity, all of these things, because my secret society originally it wasn't. Here's the problem. I'll give you a hint. My secret society was affiliated with the first monotheistic religions in the world. They were affiliated with the first rulers of monotheism in Egypt. That's why my name is Aneel. It's the highest pyramid priest in ancient Egypt. So can I say since the beginning they weren't bad? No, they were working for totalitarianism. Monotheism is totalitarianism, right? Because ancient Egypt, I'm sure you know, Paul, it was a lot of gods, right? Then this guy Akhenaten game and say, no, it's only me, it's only one god, right?
Yeah.
So they made it more totalitarian, more control. And my family was affiliated with that, and they worshipped the fucking guy. And anyone who knows about Akhenaten, he's a dumb motherfucker. He's just like my family worships Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great was a fucking cutthroat who invaded people. So I can't say that they weren't bad from the beginning, but at a certain point they try to do good. I can't say that for 100%. They built in the ancient world. They built schools. They built universities. One of the most famous, you know, in the world. And then they saw the backlash. Then they said, "Okay, we're going back. No, we're not going to continue to do it." This is what happened. But uh, because they didn't go back completely to the dark, they stayed like in between. Uh, that gave them the opportunity to have impact, which means they know what's the dark and they know what's the truth. Okay, they need to choose. So that's why people like me, if you hear it from others who were born in bloodlines, if their bloodlines is completely taken by the dark, you will hear them like having these horrific stories about their childhood. Right? I didn't have it, but I have the stories. You see, I have the knowledge about what happens, but I didn't have it physically. No one did it to me. You see, other than I'm speaking physically. I'm not speaking about brainwashing. These things happened. I'm speaking physically. Uh, so yeah, this is an amazing opportunity for anyone from that secret society, and no one is taking it because they were infiltrated. Because I said once they started to do good, what do you think happened? They were targeted by others because that's how the dark occult works. If you are within, if you take vows and you try to break it, they're gonna target you. They're coming for you. You cannot run. This is what happened. That's why they started to massacre my secret society. And that's why we need to go underground and all of that, live literally underground. But yeah, uh, this is what happens, and that's why they also, when they started to be massacred by the occult, and they said to the people, "Hey, we came from the occult. We're giving you the knowledge. Just wake up and help us." The people didn't wake up, and they held their fucking kings. They held the dark occult. So it was like 2 against 1, and they said, "Why the fuck are we bothering? For what?" This is what happened. They lost faith, but not now. They lost it 1,000 years ago. The last attempt was 1,000 years ago with a unification. There was a unification that happened, and they worked super hard for this unification, but immediately it was infiltrated. Immediately, because people aren't strong. And then they said, "Fuck it, fuck it." And my secret society is affiliated with creating the 3 traditional religions, the 3 big fucking dark machines, the best mind control techniques that were ever created: Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. They were affiliated with that. And they were affiliated with things before them. And, I don't like to talk about these things because it doesn't matter for you. I don't want people, I told you again, I don't want people to be like, describing the prison. I want them to see the solution, because what happens if you just describe the prison? You end up like Michael Tessarian, a fucking full library. Michael Tessarian, anyone who is familiar with his work, he's a fucking library, amazing guy, but he still rejects anarchy, rejects natural law. I don't want people to end up like this because there is no fucking time. Think about people coming to this now and they're going onto all of these rabbit holes, right?
It's going to take forever.
And exactly, but there is no time. First of all, get the natural law and then venture into any fucking rabbit hole you want. Isn't that the correct way?
Yeah, we must focus on the essential stuff, the most important. Yeah.
Principia, the principles.
Yeah.
First things first. Focus on natural law, and then, hey, once you get natural law and start acting on it, go watch all the work of Michael Tessarian. Literally, it can take you days, okay? And it's an amazing work. secret societies, ancient world, technology, amazing, right? You'd be like, wow, this is what I wanted if you truly want knowledge.
So would you
And you
recommend
can,
Michael Tessarion as the most important guy to watch and not Mark Passio?
no, 100% no. Mark Passio is the, I always recommend it like this. Mark Passio, what on earth is happening? Eli Martyr, Free Million Society, because a healthy brain can only exist in a healthy body, and a healthy body can only exist in a healthy brain. The problem, as I said, most anarchists are not even vegan because they don't know about the body. And if you don't know thyself, how are you going to know the fucking gods? Remember, what is the first rule? Don't lie to yourself. And also, you need to know thyself so you can know the universe and the gods. That's why you need to take care of this body. I'm not. I wish if you can, if you can go fruitarian, 100%. And you can, but I mean, if you can't, like, because of life circumstances, like I can't now, I don't have the money to do it. I'm trying to survive. But if you can, go, all in, literally all in fruitarianism, and you will see miracles happening in your body. But if you can't, at least veganism is good. At least you're not harming others, like what I'm doing. A cooked veganism. But yeah, first things first is Mark Passio to understand the principal things. The second one is Eli Martyr from Free Million Society, and you can find a lot of others who had books. But Eli, because he has, first of all, it's a YouTube channel, it's videos, short videos. Most people don't have fucking a huge attention span, right? They lost it for TikTok. So that's why I recommend the work of Mark Passio and not someone like Manly Behold. Are you going to read a fucking book like 800 pages or something? No. That's why I recommend Mark Passio. The guy presents it in a good way with pictures, all of that. The same thing with Eli. And after that, after grasping those two, and truly watching all of their videos, like literally when I arrived at Mark, I was so happy because I said, finally, someone gets it to my level, at least, like something close to me, right? I didn't leave his channel until I watched everything, all the episodes, all the podcasts, all the interviews, everything. I was waking up, going to my slave job, whatever, trying to survive. All the day, having my headphones. Even when I'm not allowed because of my job, I would put like one, and literally podcasts. Finishing everyone, the first podcast, there were 2 hours, the radio ones, and then when he started with showing himself, they became 3 hours long. I was like, yeah, 3 hours. I was watching like perhaps what, up to 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day. So that's what, 3 podcasts, 4 podcasts every day. How many people that worked with Mark's work did what I did? I was like super fast. And people say, well, I'm not, I need to, I understand it 100%. I'm different. Okay. I'm different. People say, and a lot of people who, knew about his work, and they told me, how the fuck did you watch that, that speed, and, you can catch everything, because I know the knowledge. To be honest, when I was watching Mark, I was entertaining myself, to be 100% honest. Literally, I knew it. That's why I can catch everything. But if you are new to it, of course, you're gonna sit down and read things and think, right? 100% take your time. But mostly for me, the only thing that I didn't know, it's the anecdotes about his life. So, right? So these things, yeah, I need to listen to him. But most of the things about principles of that, I knew it. See, the things that I need to focus more upon, when he's having interviews, right? Talking about things, not the principles. But yeah, that's why I was able. I was called by other occultists, other occults. I was called, you are unbelievable when it comes to knowledge, and I helped them to get to our natural law. And they are older than me, by the way. And when they arrived and they knew what I was able to do, all of that, they looked and said, "Holy shit, you're unbelievable! The amount of knowledge you have, the speed that you can grasp things, especially when they occult all of that, because these are hard for the majority of the fucking slaves. It's hard things to grasp because they're not willing to do it. And for me, it's like And I said, I'm not gonna, kid you or lie to you. I know these things. It's if you refer to me to something, I know it. Most likely, I know it. So that's why, even if I didn't hear it in those words or this shape or that, I know it. I know the principle. The principles don't change. You know that. You can speak it in French or you can speak it in English. It's the same thing. Principle is a principle. So yeah, after Mark and after Eli Marta, you can go into Michael Tessarian immediately. And first things, you need to watch Origins and Oracles. He tries to encapsulate everything from the beginning till now. How did we arrive to this place? At certain part in it, he tries to answer the problem of evil, but he doesn't succeed in it because he doesn't know natural law. So that's why go to Mark. Because if you're going to read for Crowley, or if you're going to read to Manly Balmore Hall or others, Heimdall, or you need to understand what is natural law first, so you can't fall for any science. Because not everyone is enlightened at the same level. Some people can literally tell you shit, and you believe it because you think, he's a Freemason, whatever. And we've had that. For thousands of years. So you need to have the ability to discern things, and then you're free to go. You are a free bird. I mean, once again, when you listen to these people, they will provide you with books. You need to read them for yourself. I cannot tell you now everyone you should watch or everyone you should read. It's your fucking journey, okay? But at least know the principles. So yeah.
And I'd also just like to quickly talk about where I actually found you. It was on Instagram, on Gary Rofsky's video. Check the comment section, and I just saw this this comment. I'm like, yeah, this guy fucking knows what he's talking about. It's like, the only way we're gonna stop this injustice from it's not exactly what you said, but I'm just trying to remember what you said.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, the only way we're going to stop these people from carrying on is to force them to stop. And then I went to your profile and I saw, okay, natural law, all this stuff. So I'm like, I have to add this guy.
Yeah, it was pleasant talking to Paul because seeing people. How old are you again? In your 30s, right?
Yeah, I actually just turned 36 today. It's my birthday. Can you believe it?
Really?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, man.
Yeah, I don't even do
amazing.
birthdays. We don't, like in this house, we don't celebrate birthdays. It's like another day for us, but yeah, 36 now.
Yeah, I understand. Wow, 36. 12 years older than me. Wow.
Yeah, Aneel's very knowledgeable. He's only 24 years old, and he actually said that he was born with this knowledge. If I remember right.
Yeah.
You said you
lot of it.
had previous incarnations that you can remember.
I can't remember the incarnations, but I can remember
the knowledge from those incarnations.
Yeah. A lot of things that I would be talking to people that tell me, how do you know these things? Well, I just just come out of my mouth. I know it. See, I'm trying to encapsulate all of that now with a couple of things that I'm doing, at least for now, because I'm trying to answer the ultimate questions that humans will ask. The origins of evil. And the origins of evil are not natural. You cannot have evil in nature. It doesn't work like this. Nature is the light. I'm not going into that now, but I hope that you can see it. I hope I can finish it before something radical happens. It's a lot of work, Paul. Trying to break it into these words, right? First of all, talking is easier, but you need to give examples when you're writing. It's not like something like you cannot expect people to just latch into something because you thought like, no, this way it will be enough. No, you need to break it with multiple examples. Try to encapsulate a lot of examples from all kinds of ways to try to make it so easy, which makes me sad. It doesn't need to be like this. You can use your mind, but they're not willing to use the mind. So we need to be a testimony for natural law to tell them when we die, hey, I tried to break it into the fucking easiest, most obvious ways possible. and they didn't want to grasp it. Hey, just throw comets, anything on them. They don't want to learn, literally. Humanity deserves what it gets and will get what it deserves. And that brings me fucking happiness. That's the only one of the things that I can really go to sleep and say I'm happy about, literally. Knowing that's not gonna happen, there is no way out. It's a global conspiracy. You either wake yourself or you're going through the fucking trash bin. Because the elites are ruling a fucking trash bin called Earth. It's not like they are out of the prison. They are with us, but they're having the best condition in the prison. But still in the prison. I'm not gonna be in the prison. Even if I don't change you, I'm gonna leave. First of all, I'm not gonna be in prison physically here, so that's a win for me. I'm out of the prison physically, and spiritually in the astral world. I'm not gonna be reincarnated here, and I also did the work, so natural law will see that I'm gonna be granted the privileges. So it's a win-win for me, and it's a lose-lose for you. For anyone who is opposing this, you want to continue in the prison? Go ahead, continue, motherfucker. You are just growing your karma bigger and bigger until one time this earth will, because people need to understand, nature cannot tolerate evil for infinity, for eternity. It has a deadline, and it can be. It is not. It can be. This is proven. The planets are not just dead rocks. They have consciousness. They're alive. So they know exactly what's going on in them. They know exactly what kind of consciousness they are, the inhabitants have, all of that. If they don't follow natural law, hey, suddenly 3 fucking 10 kilometers tsunami is coming. 17 comets suddenly. Yeah, these things happen. What do you think? Look at the ancients and what they wrote about. These things happen. And what happens when that happens? When you lose your fucking prison, you go into the spiritual. You didn't do the work. You're gonna lose there. But when I die, yeah, it could be pain here, but other than that, that's it. And it's not gonna be pain for 100 years. What is the most horrific way to die? I don't know, skinning you alive, cutting you into pieces, whatever. It's gonna be a week, whatever. But it's not gonna be for a fucking lifetime. And I'm not gonna come here when I die. That's the thing. You're going to come here. I can come here if I choose to, but that's why I say this is the last chance for the natural law movement on Earth. After they have chips in their heads, there isn't a possible way to do it. Because if you are arriving, because when you have a certain thought, it will deliver different chemical synapses in your brain. They can detect that and they can know what kind of thought you're having. If something resembles natural law, they can turn you off immediately. And how are you going to change them? That's why all the ancients spoke about this. Once they achieve that, it's game over. There is something called completely game over. It is game over. We can't win anymore unless we want to have aliens more advanced than the fuck is on here come surgically change it without destroying life completely. Like some will completely blow up planets because they say, oh, energetically we can see on our fucking computer the whole planet is fucking satanic. Blow it up, right? Because they don't want to let those species infect others. And they can do it, and some will do it surgically, and it happened in our past, but it didn't work. And that's why I hate aliens, by the way. A lot of people say, well, aliens are doing that because they don't want to take care of us. They want us to take care of ourselves. We cannot expect a fucking infant to take care of himself. You are dealing with us as we're not infants. People are infants. People are not just infants. People are still, what's the name of when the child is still in the womb? It's not an infant.
Fetus.
It's fetus. Listen to this. This is the situation of humanity. People are trying to get their head out of the canal, see natural law, and they say, no, going back. That's the level of humanity. Literally. People are not even 1% natural law followers. They're not even there. And you are telling me, I don't want to help because I want them to take care of the fucking infants. It's like saying an infant, literally seeing an infant being raped and saying, no, she must learn. What do you mean? First, help her to not being harassed. She doesn't know how to defend herself first. That's ABC of life, isn't it? And that's what leads to the next point. 2 points. Either all the aliens around us, they don't give a fuck. And some said it. We don't give a fuck. And others said, we're evil. That's the aliens that we have on Earth. We don't have better than that. And any alien who comes here and says, I'm going to give you that book, fuck it. I don't want your book. I want your technology, destroying their technology so we can have a fucking breath. We don't have a breath. What happens when people start waking up a bit? They drop on them a fucking false flag, right? They start a war. They can't let it happen. And a fucking alien with all of his technology and his huge lifespan is coming to tell me, I want to take care of. I'm taking care of myself, but I cannot take care of fucking billions without fucking technology. I can't. And I don't have it. Are you willing to help or not? No. Then shut the fuck up and get lost. Don't say I tried. You didn't. We know a gun will help people to defend themselves. But can I give a gun for a child? I can't. The child doesn't know how to use it. And that's what they are trying to tell us. And they're not willing to accept the situation is different. Humans are children. And that goes back to the fucking cosmic abandonment that we had, the fucking creators of humanity, the origins of humanity, which is a species that were created for slavery, nothing more. And people didn't have, since day one, the right approach to life. And no one taught them that other than secret societies that when we try to walk them through that, they attack us because we are destroying their fucking pink dreams of the world, and they don't want to see the world. The traumas that people are dealing with, it's not just traumas from their own life. I don't know if you know that, but there's something called epigenetics, which means memories can be stored in the genes. For example, let's say your grandfather was eaten by a hyena, okay? Partially eaten. He survived it. He had the trauma, and he decided to marry and give children. If he didn't deal with that trauma, you, after so many generations, you would have the trauma, and you would ask, why the fuck I'm afraid of hyenas? You are not, but he was, and he didn't do the work. And that's what happens when you try to procreate, when you're not following natural law, when you have some problems. And that's why it's not up to you, and you shouldn't be allowed to procreate if you're not following natural law immediately and 100%. It's like a cocaine addict saying, I'm going to procreate. No, your fucked up body is going to give sperms to that fucked up body, and they create a child with fucked up body. Who gives you the fucking right? The child isn't yours. So this is the problem. People are weak, and because no one taught them this since day one. Think about it, hundreds of thousands of generations, hundreds of thousands of years, and people are still not working with their traumas. And now people tell me 2026, we're winning, you're winning, because I didn't say we're winning. I don't see myself one of them. No one is winning other than the fucking occult.
Yeah, we should definitely talk about the solution before we go out with this one. So we were talking about,
100%.
about all these things, natural law, all that. So what does the solution actually look like? I'll give one example. So the solution is stop participating in evil, basically. So you got to quit your immoral job.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the slaughterhouse worker has got to quit his fucking job. The policeman's got to quit his job. The military guy's got to quit his job. If you're in government, you've got to quit your job. And if you do any kind of other evil, even if it's not for a paycheck, you've got to quit your job. And I'm sure you can elaborate some more on that.
That's just the beginning.
Yeah.
You need to change yourself. Most people won't quit their jobs because they're going to say, well, I'm going to starve. Well, so be it. It's not my problem. It's not the problem of the animals. So be it. You don't want to starve? Let's do it quick. Wake others. Help me wake others up, okay? So we can take the system quickly and no one stops. Deal? They sit back. This is the solution, guys. What Paul said, this is the solution. Quit your evil. Stop doing evil. no matter what it takes. I cannot, put it in a nice way. This is the nicest way possible. Stop doing evil. That's it. Otherwise, enjoy your fucking slavery. Enjoy the fucking hardships. Quit all these jobs. People, I don't agree. Yeah, okay, I understand. I don't agree with our military, whatever. Okay, taxes. How? You need to quit your job. Okay, quit your job. I did that. I said, when my plantation is going to war, I'm out. No matter what it takes. I did that. I'm not like Americans. I've been saying that for fucking billions of years, and no one is acting and thinking they're gonna create numbers. No one is creating numbers. We're not grown up. That movement is not growing. We have just people who want to feel they are surviving. They made it like a social, size. I'm going to see my group. We need actions. You need to quit your job, change the way you live in, which means first of all, stop participating in evil yourself in other ways. If it's not your job, for example, eating, that's one of the most important things, because what you do to others will be done to yourself. So let's say you didn't quit your job, but the first thing was you started being vegan. That's a win. Amazing. But first, after that, sorry, you need to quit your job. You need to find ways to not give. And if you truly law, you would say, I don't give a shit. I don't want to pay tax. Perhaps you're not that strong. You say, okay, I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to teach them. Okay, I'll take it. Okay. That's the best you can do. I'll take the best you can do. I can't force you.
And also, with regards to not paying tax, it's actually impossible to achieve unless you don't use money.
Exactly. So that's why you have the choice of my choice, or let's do it quickly. Grab your fucking gun and get down. That's it. That's it. Perhaps we won't win, but perhaps our sacrifice would be the beacon of light that will awaken others, and others will start to ask, why the fuck did they die? Suddenly 1,000 of them died. Well, what happened? What's going on with this anarchy? Are they really vicious, stupid, fanatics? Then they start reading our writings. They say, no, these are not fanatics. They just, perhaps that will what we need to do. And people are not doing it. Here's the thing about natural law movement. They are waiting. They think when they say when the shit hits the fan, as if the thing that the shit will hit the fan only for them. It's gonna be hitting the fan everywhere. Which means if you thought you're going to awaken them when the shit hits the fan because you're gonna show how strong you are in defending yourself and how well you can survive, others are not going to be looking at that. Others just want to survive. They're not looking at knowledge. If in their nice life they didn't follow knowledge, they're going to follow knowledge when everything is falling apart. Really? That's why I don't lie. I know Paul gonna make you leave with good energy and all of that. I don't lie. There is no solution other than fucking hard solution, extreme solution. That's it. Because we are in the extreme place. I'll tell you an example. If you are familiar with how the body works,
I don't disagree with you. It is an extreme situation, so I'm not opposed to taking forceful measures if that's what it takes. It's just that
exactly.
I'm not willing to do that myself. But I'm not opposed to other people doing what they need to do to sort out the evil.
Yeah, I'll give an example. For those who understand how the body works, somewhat. You follow up with people who are, for example, people like Robert Morris and people who deal with illness through fruitarianism. These people who heal people from cancer, stage 3 cancer, whatever cancer, in their last days. You will see them dealing with people like this. They will ask them, how much time do you have? Well, it's a severe situation. Okay, severe situation requires severe measures. Complete fast or a fruit diet fast, which is like only grapes for 100 days or only lemons or whatever. That's it. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to have your best taste. It is what it is. You are in severe situation. You brought yourself into that severe situation. Perhaps it's not you. Your parents. I know all of these things. I didn't do that, but others did that to me, and I find myself in this situation. But I need to do the job no matter what. And it's just the same way they deal with the body, because that's why you need to know thyself. If you find yourself there, half measures won't do it. Only extreme measures will do it. You need to go all in. Fast, it's a fast. That's it. Only water. That's it. Either we have anarchy or not. That's it. It's just like the same thing as only water. No food. No food. No food for the bad. No food for the fucking cancerous cells. No food for that, which means only anarchy. Like it or not, this is it. Either we win or we lose. If you win, defeat cancer, you will regain your health, right? And hopefully you stay fruitarian. If you don't, you're gonna die. But at least try something. People are not even trying. People are sitting and taking it from the fucking behind and crying. And this is about crying. I have no problem with evil fuckers. I know they're evil, and they know they're evil. But my problem is with the fucking normies who are crying. Don't cry, motherfucker. You invited evil to your house. So this is the situation we find ourselves in, guys. It's not 2014. It's not 29. It's the last minute of the last minute of the last fucking minute. That's it. And trust me, if we don't do it now, when the West still have some niceties, they're not gonna be done when everything falls apart. And you're seeing it. You're seeing the oil. You're seeing all of that. Trust me, it's not gonna be done. This is the only time. And I wanna, before we go, I wanna give you an advice. Even if we're not gonna win, at least do it for yourself, for those who you love, for your children. Even I know a lot of people would be like, yeah, I think there is no way out. Okay, do it for yourself. Say, I'm not gonna go down without being an anarchist. Say, do it.
Repeat that again.
It's better than going
Because
down.
your audio cut out a bit. Just repeat that. I'm not going to go down.
I'm not gonna go down without being an anarchist. If I'm gonna go down, both ways, at least let me die an anarchist. Let me die with the knowledge. Let me die trying to act. Because that will be recognized by natural law. Karma will recognize that. Cosmic judgment. And if you don't do that, you don't know what you're fucking with. You're trying to go against cosmic judgment. Let me tell you something, kids. Nothing escapes the law. Nothing. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will. The great will. Not my will. Not Paul's will. Do the right thing and no other shall say nay. You don't like it? Tough fuck. Tough shit. It doesn't matter. It's the right thing. I'm not gonna get that little raped, whether you are having I don't know, hormones, conditioning. I don't care what you think. Why you should rape her? I'm not going down letting her be raped. That's it. I'm standing between you and the girl. That's it. That's the attitude. Otherwise, you're a loser. That girl will be raped. Evil will have fun. It will strengthen itself, and they deserve it. Why cry? I just want to end with this. I don't know if you are familiar with Game of Thrones, but there is a guy who used to fight in the Night's Watch. He goes against Jon Snow, and Jon Snow hangs him with other 3 people because they killed him after he wakes up from the dead. And I think his name is Malister, something like that. Sir Malister, something like that. So he says, I fought and I lost. Now I rest. That's it. That's all it takes. Try. That's it.
That just cut out a little bit. So you said, I fought and I tried and I lost.
I fought, and I lost. Now I rest.
Yeah.
That's all it takes, man.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
It's really, it's the best thing you can know. Like knowing nature, knowing it's pure love, really. Like it's pure love. You're vegan, right? You feel amazing, right?
Yeah, I just want to say, I think that the biggest obstacle that's holding most of us back is probably just our fear.
Yeah, 100%.
We're just bitches, man. A lot of us are bitches.
A lot of a lot of a lot of us didn't grow up, man. They didn't grow up. They're still afraid. And I have fear. Don't think that I'm not. But it's not about me. Am I going to conquer the fear or not? That's it. And the difference between a great soul and a mediocre soul is the great soul decided to go through its fear. That's it. To be fearless means you have fear, but you don't feel it. But the fear is still there. You're gonna act.
That's the courage.
Yeah. Ultimately, it takes courage. It takes balls. Knowledge enough is not gonna do it. Knowledge will grow your courage, but the only thing that will truly grow your courage isn't just knowledge. It's love. A lot of people don't know. Half of Marx knows, and they act. Why? Perhaps they're not 100% like him, but still act. It's about love. People don't have love. People don't love themselves. People don't love others.
And when you say love, what are you talking about?
There is a pyramid of love, which has three kinds of love: agape, philos, and eros. Agape is the ultimate love, is the universal love, is the love for the truth, which is the highest love one can reach. Love for the truth. And it should be always, if you have two sides, okay, you and your girlfriend, okay, you create a triangle, right? You are meeting with each other, you are being together. The love of the truth, agape, should be the head of the pyramid, above you and your girlfriend, which means above your egos, okay? And you are connecting with your girlfriend. If you decide to break from natural law, she can catch you and decide she can bring you back. If you don't want to do it and she doesn't want to go down with you, she tells you, I want to leave, right? The only thing that should really connect people ultimately above everything is the love for the truth. Then your love, then the romantic love. If any of those two situations, the familiar and the romantic, comes before the love for the truth, agape love, it's called an attachment. It's not called love. And you will see that with every relationship, every broken relationship that you had of any kind in your life that didn't have the truth in it, you will see it wasn't truly a relationship, it's just an attachment. And you will see that people used you. You were being used for someone's, I don't know, emotion. They want to feel loved, they want to feel protected, whatever kind of emotion. Or people will use you in the physical, right? Any situation you find yourself in without having agape love, it's a wrong place to be in. And that's why I don't connect with people. People don't want this agape love.
Yeah, you pretty much isolated yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. Completely isolated. That shows you where people are, how much they value these things. I had a lot of people, they say, I'll be with you. I look like this. No, I don't mean it. I'm deep, trust me, I can understand. I said, okay. Once we start talking, they say, well, I thought I was deep. You see, this is the situation. People think they know, they don't. People have false ego about knowledge. all all I can see everywhere I go is just attachments. People literally think about a mother giving her child fucking coke. Do you think that's love? That's fucking attachment.
Coke as in Coca-Cola or cocaine? Or both?
Yeah, Coca-Cola. Originally it had cocaine in it. Yeah. Now it's too expensive, but yeah. um, it's not love. That's attachment. Friendship. It's just people want to feel. They don't want to feel empty because they don't have the knowledge. You come here as a soul. All you seek is learning. That's why you open. The first thing you do is you open your fucking phone, or you open the curtains to see what the sky. You want to learn. The whole thing about you here is learning. It's not survival, it's learning. They lie to you about survival. It's learning, not survival.
And learning is not just
And
something that
people
you
don't
get
want to
from a book. It's something that you get from life experience. Even more than a book, actually.
Yeah, you can. Exactly. You can get it from a book. But ultimately, it's life experience. You need to act. If you say I have the knowledge, but I'm not acting on it, you don't know. You don't know. It's like saying, yeah, I know what cocaine does, but I'm not stopping. You don't know. If you did really know, you would love yourself and you would stop doing it.
To know
And
and
then
not
you
to
will ask
do
them, well, do
is,
you know exactly?
yeah. To know and not
Yeah,
to do is
to
not to
know,
know
not to
or
do.
care.
It's not to know, yeah. And listen, if you that's how you know that they don't know. If you go to the nitty gritty of things with them, you tell them like, explain to me what happens on the cellular level. They don't know. Then you will know that they don't know. But if they truly knew what's happening, okay, they would stop it. Otherwise, they would say, I want to end my life, which is understandable. See? But you ask them, do you want to end your life? They say no. I'll tell them, then why the fuck you are harming yourself? Uh, they give you all fucking justifications. You are contradicting yourself, mate. It doesn't work like this. I mean, if you want to have a child, you finish inside, you don't finish outside. That's it. You don't finish outside and say, you know what, I want a child. No, it doesn't work like this. And they will take it. When you give these examples, they will say, yeah. But when you take other examples, they will say no, because they don't want to accept it. But sex they love. That's why they want to accept it. That's why I try when I'm talking, attack them at the things they love. Mark them there. I want to hurt them. Hey, you don't know. Hey, you're bad. Hey, you're not doing good. Hey, you can do better. Hey, stop. You're fucking evil.
A lot of people are too timid to speak to others like that, myself included. I'm not going to lie, man. I struggle to be straight with, especially people that I'm close to. I struggle to shoot straight with them.
You're afraid to be alone. You're afraid to lose people. I'm not. I couldn't give two shits about people. People are evil. Think about being afraid to lose Hitler. Do you really think you're awakened? You may say people are not Hitler. People are worse than Hitler. Hitler was truthful to himself. Hitler didn't lie. He wrote a fucking book about what he wanted to do. He said it. We were taking money from fucking occultists. He didn't lie. People are worse than Hitler because people lie. People say, "Well, not Hitler. You worse. You lie. Hitler didn't didn't murder the 80 million or whatever. You people like you did that, which is worse. If we were dealing just with Hitler, man, do you think they would be able to win? Hitler is the dog. Okay, the dogs, and they can't win. But because we're dealing with 8 billion Hitler, that's why they win. And they want to cry at the end of the day, say they were not Hitler. If you're not like that, you're fucking Hitler, just don't want to say it. And if you feel bad about using Hitler, it's because you're a fucking piece of shit. That's it. You don't want to say it. I don't care who gets fucking angry about me. I don't care. This is the truth. Life is so straightforward. That's it. I mean, Confucius was the guy who said, people insist of complicating life. Insist. and everything that's not simple. Well, I know they're bad, but you're lying to yourself. It's not simple. You're lying to yourself. You don't want to feel alone. That's it. Well, yeah, I'm not strong enough. Then fuck off. You're bad. Don't tell me you're not. And do you know what happens most of the time? When people find the strength to say that they are bad, yeah, they know, instead of saying, like, yeah, I'm bad and cry and, I want help, they double down. They don't want to show that they are weak. As if they show that they are doing something wrong and they were willing to learn, they're weak. You see how they are fucked up in the mind?
Yeah, I see it a lot
They think if
with
they
the
tell,
activism too. Yeah,
yeah, literally, they think if they say, I'm sorry, they're weak.
when it's
Not
the
knowing that
opposite.
this is strength. Yeah. And that's why they said, we got them enthralled. We got them bones. It's not just about because they don't know and we got them to believe that black is white and white is black. No, we took the care from them. They have no care. If you have no care, it doesn't matter whether you see black is white or white is black or white is fucking giraffe and black is fucking bear. It doesn't matter. You already don't have the care. Why the fuck bother with anything else? And nature creates everything with care. A child cares to move his hand when he's a fucking infant. Isn't that true? Child cries when he wants food or water. Animals will try to walk, search for food. Everything has care in them. And even the fucking humans. But humans wanna say we don't care, okay, to show that they are strong. No, you're weak. You're weak. And ultimately you care, but you care about the wrong things. And this is the whole thing about the occult. That's why they hide things, because they don't want you to understand that you should be caring about the true things, the right things.
And that's why the dark
That's
ones
why
are
we
winning,
see.
because they do fucking care. They care a lot to get their work
Yeah,
done.
exactly.
Yeah.
They care about winning. They care about evil. They care about winning. Uh, Listen, people think they know their code by saying, perhaps not everyone wants to have bad things. They just love themselves. No, the ultimate occult literally hate the creator, and they hate creation, and they want ultimate suffering for all the creatures. But they cannot go like that too hard because they know other things will rebel. The planet will rebel. If they destroy animals like they are doing with humans, the planet will rebel. That's why every time they fight and have fucking big things, a lot of things will get into the game, like huge earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis, and both sides will be destroyed. That's why they know from their history, learn about the war of the gods. Thousands of years ago, learn what happened. All the fucking ancient scripts used to talk about that. And they tried to hide it from you, and they did. For the most part, they didn't. People think it's mythology or fucking children's story. No. That's why they can't get rid. Not they can't get rid. They can't get away with doing to humans because humans are not like normal animals. They can decide to rebel. Animals can't. If you are more intellectually powerful than a cheetah or a fucking giraffe, you can't own them. The only thing that will defend them is Mother Nature. That's why if they touch them too much, Mother Nature will rebel. But when it comes to humans, no, Mother Nature will let you do it because humans, if they wanted, they can rebel for themselves. But ultimately, they will get the rebellion from Mother Nature, even if humans or any other intellectual life form doesn't rebel. They will get it from Mother Nature because in order for them to exist, they must destroy nature itself. Evil cannot exist without blocking the light, and the light is the thing responsible for life. You see?
So if they do succeed in destroying all life, they will cease to exist as well, because then there's nothing to feed off anymore.
Yeah, that's why they wanna, for example, they know we're coming to the new age now. The stars are moving differently and all of that, right? That's why they want people to eat not intelligent animals. They want to eat insects. Why? Have you asked yourself that?
No, I haven't actually really considered it. What is the real reason?
Yeah, the real reason is because they know they aren't. When you eat a cow, it's different than eating an insect. I'm not saying that insects are not important, but just like you are more intellectual, have more intellectual powers than a child, it's just like that, animals have degrees, even
Degrees
in
of
plants, you have
complexity.
degrees. Exactly, and consciousness. So they want to make people eat the least conscious because at this time that we're going in, that's why they want to win as soon as possible. It's not coincident they were saying like 2020, 2030, we cannot delay it more because they know what's coming. If they let humans not be under control, severe control, humans at this time, at this wave of movements, energies from the planets, they have a better opportunity to wake up. They don't want this to manifest. That's why they want to get them chipped before that happens. Because even if that happens at that time, you're already chipped. You're already robot. That's it. They want to severely hinder the connection with nature, the Kundalini energy, in other words. That's why they want to chip you. The chip will allow them to do that. It can stop chemicals from being used. It can stop electricity from being moved. A lot of things.
Yeah, I think we can ask your best friend Yuval Noah Harari all about that. He'll be able to explain in detail what it
Yeah.
means.
Yeah. The fucker says there is no free will.
That's
If you believe
that's over, man. That's over.
that's the end game, and people are latching this. This guy sells millions of books, and I will barely have like 10 views or whatever. Mark, had been doing that. Michael Tisarion, the guy sells millions of books. Humans are choosing this, and no one can convince me they have no dog in this, no hand. Humans are comfortable with their doom. Just let the doom come. But if you want to save yourself, you need to do the work. It's not people think, oh, so he said it. Yeah, let them do come. No, no, no. There is no running from the work. You need to do the work.
Yeah, each and every one of us, we make up the aggregate of society, each unit.
Yeah, it's about us. It's your
the
journey.
relationship. Yeah, it's the relationship of morality and freedom. As morality increases in the aggregate, freedom increases, and morality is in the shitter at the moment.
Wow, it's beyond that. It's beyond that.
It's beyond that.
It's yeah. I mean, it's so horrific. It's so horrific. One of the things you see now, selective morality, the selective attention. They want to speak about certain kids being murdered, but they don't want to speak about other kids. Why? This is worse. If people didn't really give a shit at all, you would say, okay, but all the sides are not being paid attention to, right? So children on that side, or the children on that side, or the other side. But when you try to have selective morality, that's worse because it shows that you can have morality, but you're not willing to do it. You see, it's different than being a child that can't understand nuclear physics or an adult who can but doesn't want to. It's worse. A child can be pardoned, an adult can't. These people who show that they can have the selective morality, they can be pardoned. If they are completely taken robots, I say, yeah, the robots, they lost their compass completely, but they're not. They are so zombies, but they're not robots. There's a huge difference between a zombie and a robot. A zombie is someone who doesn't want to wake up. And all the zombies movies, all of them are about you, the normies. They're not about some virus breakout. No, it's about you. And you demonstrated that perfectly in 2020. Perfectly. They will tell you, go suck to that tree. You will go suck to that tree without asking. What the fuck would I suck for the tree? You will suck. That's it. You showed them that you are willing to be a perfect slave. People think Corona was about ending people and destroying. No. If they want to do that, they can do it in a lot of ways. They can weaponize the 5G to literally stun your mind. Literally. I'm sure sometimes it would be used in headphones and you would feel like electrical interference and you feel pain in one side. They can have that far more powerful, stun your mind completely, drop you dead. They're not doing it, and they could have done it since the 1919 when they started introducing the antennas, the so-called first phones. Do you think really they were giving you phones because they wanted to help you connect with others? It's the same people who think, well, they gave us internet because they care about us and they want us to go shopping on the internet. No, all of these are military technologies, all of them, to enslave you more. So 2020 and Corona scam was all about showing how much it's the last test for how much they're gonna be obedient. Because at that time, even in 2020, the freedom movement was going for years. The so-called freedom movement and the conspiracy movement. But yeah.
Yeah, what a crazy time that was.
Yeah. And it's going to be, that time is going to be like, as Nicholas, the guy that was in the Satanic Church, Nicholas Schreck, I think, yeah. He said, that's in the 90s, by the way. He had this interview with a white racist, by the way. He said, what we're going to bring to humanity is going to be like Nazis having tea party. Think about what the Nazis did. I know a lot of you, they love the Nazis now because what Israel is doing. As Israel can do something, it's a fucking land. It's the elites there. And they brainwashed people on both sides. But he said Nazis would be like children having tea party. They're having a picnic. That's it. What's gonna come is far more worse. And yeah, I grew up knowing these things.
Yeah, thanks for sharing all of that with us. Your treasure chest of wisdom is infinite. So I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, my brother. Thank you for having me here. And remember, guys, man-made authority is slavery. There is no other way. Either be yourself, embody natural law, or you're a Satanist piece of shit. That's it.
And that's the perfect way to wrap this up. And I hope to speak to you soon. I hope you stay alive out there.
We'll see what happens. I think we'll see. I'm still breathing. Thanks a lot for having me, man.
Okay, man. I mean this. Take care.